The truck market has just collapsed. Ford dealers are overflowing with overpriced trucks. Ram had to massively discount all of their truck inventory. Toyota lots are now overflowing with trucks. And Chevy has so many trucks that I can't even count the number. Over the past few years, car dealerships have taken advantage of customers by marking up vehicles over sticker, and greedy CEOs of these massive corporations have continued to increase the MSRP of trucks to the point it's finally starting to backfire on them. The truck market is seeing a huge decline at the end of 2024, and the sales numbers just keep going lower. Ford truck sales have plummeted in October and November. Ram truck sales numbers are at their lowest for the quarter in over 6 years, and Chevy is so desperate to sell their trucks that one dealer is even offering up to $16,000 off MSRP. Even the Toyota Tacoma is struggling to sell right now. With truck prices out of control and inventory piling up all over the country, something has to break, and it's finally starting. High interest rates, high MSRPs, and less disposable income has finally caused the truck market to collapse. The economy has been incredibly resilient, but anyone paying attention to what's going on in the market knows that something has to give somewhere. And America's greedy pickup truck manufacturers are starting to feel the pain. In my last video, I was at a Ford dealership in Dallas, Texas, and their lot was overflowing with trucks that had an MSRP of well over $100,000. I've been wanting to see what the truck market was like outside of places like Texas and Idaho, so in this video, we're going to go to Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm going to show you what's going on at Chevy, Ram, Ford, and Toyota, and what I found out really caught me by surprise. I figured sales would be a little bit higher in a wealthy city, but it turns out people with money are actually smart. So let's start with the dealership out here that shocked me the most, Chevrolet. I am here at a GMC/Chevy dealership here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're starting here today instead of Ford like I typically do because this dealership has more GMC and Chevy trucks than anyone that I've been to, including Texas, Utah, and Boise, Idaho. And this is a large dealership, so they do have room, but they have so many trucks that, as you can see, we've got trucks stacked over here. We've got this entire row of GMC here. This is where the GMC dealers stop. Chevy begins right here. There's an entire row going all the way down as far as you can see around that corner, and even more trucks way over here on this back side of the lot after that curve that you saw. And they continue all the way down that way. But they have so many trucks here that they can't even fit them all. We've got a row in the middle of the row of trucks just kind of lined up here, taking up space because sales on the newer side has really slowed down coming into Christmas because it's the holiday season and people's priorities are elsewhere. But the Chevy row continues all the way down around this corner on this side. There's a Tahoe SUV row over there. They also have this 2500 HD Bison built and customized by AEV. This includes like an AEV front bumper, custom wheels by AEV, custom rear bumper as well, and a few more off-road goodies that AEV is known for. But how much do they want for this? You're looking at $100,325 for an AEV built ZR2 Duramax diesel 2500 HD pickup truck. But that Multimatic suspension does look pretty dope. Now we're in Scottsdale though, and this is a pretty city-fied town. I'm not sure where they'd use that. As you can see here, Chevy trucks all the way over here, Chevy trucks here. Another loaded row of Trail Boss trucks right here. Now we all know how expensive some of these trucks can get in these ZR2 trim levels, but just for a reminder, let me show you. This is a Duramax ZR2, tow hooks, everything you need to do some off-road things. And the price is $73,865 for an off-roady version of the Duramax Silverado ZR2. Got another one here, another one here. That's a Z71 actually. But here's some interesting things that I found at this dealership that I haven't seen at other Chevy dealerships. We got a basic white, what looks like work truck, steel wheels, plastic everything everywhere. And these trucks have pretty much been hard to find. We've just been seeing more high-priced trucks like this. So let's see how cheap you can get a Silverado. This is a double cab, standard bed, two-wheel drive, cloth seats, no fancy bells and whistles of anything, even a tiny screen. I'm not sure if you can see because the tint's pretty dark. This will run you $41,435 for one of the cheaper, basically cheapest four-door pickup trucks that you can find from Chevy. Now, one of the big differences and why I started with Chevy this time is that they typically have a lower barrier to entry. As you could see by that white truck down there, which I could never find any truck lower than $60,000 at a Ford dealership. We have a few Chevys here that are still nice, still four-wheel drive, that squeeze in under $60,000. Like this black 4x4 here, that is an RST model. This is a 24 four-wheel drive 1500. It's gonna run you $59,705. So it's still pushing that 60 grand, really, really close. Not near as cheap as that $40,000 one of that super base model work truck. But then we have this Silverado High Country, and this is a pretty more expensive spec. This will run you $87,075. And these higher priced trucks is what we've typically been seeing at these dealers. You've got them running $60,000 plus all the way across the majority of these rows as you go back. But Chevy is squeaking out some of these Steely version basic trucks. That's a GMC version of it, which is why it's got chrome. But as you can see here, the trucks are slowly selling, and Chevy is just loaded with them. Now here's something with this truck that I thought was pretty funny. They have so many trucks piled up here that they had to park this ZR2 on a curb just to squeeze it into this row of trucks that they have here. They kind of just have trucks everywhere, and it looks like they're just doing whatever they can to manage their inventory at this point. But I found something really cool that's been very, very hard to find, because when these first came out, they were selling pretty quickly, but then reality set in and sales of this just tanked. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I found a new Hummer EV, and these things are massively wide, but they do look cool. The only thing I personally don't like is that they're electric. I'd rather have a rumbly bumbly V8 or a diesel in this thing. But here one sits, and they're asking $116,799 for a 2023 model. But I gotta say, these do look really, really cool. And GMC, I guarantee you, if you drop the price, made it less complicated, and just put like a normal V8 or diesel engine in that new Hummer, it would probably sell 10 times more. And we're gonna go to Ford and Ram, but real quick, I wanna jaunt over to Toyota, because what I saw there totally blew my mind. I'm now at Toyota here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I came here because they have the most truck inventory out of any Toyota dealership that I've ever seen. The row of Tundra starts way over there on the end, and then it goes around this entire loop to the main road. There's a golf course over there, and all the way back there. And then in this center section, they've got a bunch of Tacomas scattered throughout the whole area, just to make it look a little bit full in this center section. But Toyota definitely has had that kind of inventory problem where they've had a bunch of empty spots, and they're just stacking whatever they can get from the 23s to try to sell the last bit of the 23s that they have. This silver one's a TRD 4x4. The blue one is a TRD 4x4. They're all pretty much the same trim, just in different colors. And they'll run you somewhere around $49,000. But this Toyota dealer does add a ton of ridiculous aftermarket stuff that you don't need. Their window tint is $2,000. You have XPEL on the hood and fender. You have paint treatment, interior, exterior, which is not needed, for $249. Edge guard, sure, that might help a little bit. And then they charge $500 for a Toyota tailgate emblem. And let's see what you get for your $500 tailgate emblem. So all it does is fill in the Tacoma with this matte black thing. That's kind of dumb and pretty useless and a waste of $500. So all these add-ons will run you an extra $2,744.45 to your Tacoma at this dealer, which is completely stupid. And the problem with that is that stuff's already on there, and I guarantee you they're not gonna let you take it off so you can save that $2,800. But let's look at a couple of the Tundras here, because I'm surprised that they do have this many. And it's probably the same thing. I bet a bunch of these are 2023s and they're trying to get rid of them. Let's take a look. All right, we got this nice gray Tundra here, and it looks like it has their little add-on again with the text. This is a 1794 edition, and of course their iForce Max. The sticker is a little far, but it's $73,000 plus $2744 for all their stupid add-ons. And this is a higher trim level capstone. This is a Tundra HV 4x4 capstone, which is a high fancy cityfied trim level. This will run you $81,898 plus their $2744 worth of junk. Let's try to find a cheaper trim model. I found this lower trim level SR5, but unfortunately there's no window sticker anywhere. All right, I found another SR5, this time in silver, and let's see how much a more base level four-wheel drive Tundra is gonna run you. This is a 4x4 2023 model with the iForce twin turbo V6, and that's gonna run you $57,437 plus $2,744 in junk. It's part of what contributes to these dealers sitting on a lot of these trucks, is adding on a bunch of junk that nobody wants. So Toyota has been hurting for a while. They didn't have any inventory. Now, as you can see, they're stacked with trucks. They're full of Tundras and Tacomas, and sales are coming in for them, because a lot of people have been waiting for inventory to come in, but they're still pretty slow compared to previous years. But enough about Toyota. Let's go across the street to where the Ram trucks and the Jeep Gladiators and stuff are and see what's going on over there. And then we'll close it out by going to Ford, because this dealership is kind of interesting. All right, I made it to the Ram dealership this time in Scottsdale, and this is a bit of a smaller dealership than some of the other Ram places that I've been to, but they do have a high amount of high MSRP inventory. We've got an entire row of Ram trucks going along here. Most of them are Limiteds, Laramies, and there's a crazy addition called a Warlock over there, and a yellow Ram Rebel back there, which I want to look at because I want to see the price of a new Ram Rebel compared to a 2019 model that my cousin bought slightly used a few months ago. And then over here in this row, they do have the more heavy-duty types of trucks. And we all know those prices are pretty outrageous because in my last video, the dealership had quite a few of those high MSRP trucks back in Boise, and those have been sitting on their lot for quite a lot of time. So I want to see what this 4x4 Laramie costs out here, and also this Bighorn model, just to get a comparison of what's going on in Scottsdale compared to Boise, Idaho, Texas, and Utah. So this one does have some more street-friendly wheels and tires. It is blacked out, which is pretty cool. It does have the Hemi e-torque. And we're looking at a 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4, and the MSRP is $70,565. And I don't see any sticker with any kind of add-ons for any of these trucks here. But let's check out what this Warlock version is. I'm pretty curious to see what a Warlock version costs. It looks like it does have some blacked out pieces. I don't know what makes the Warlock special, but it looks like it was the tradesman version Warlock. It is four-wheel drive, does only have the V6 engine, but this one costs you $53,185. So it is a bit of a kind of prettied up trim level package on the cheaper work version of the truck. Ram and Jeep is kind of in a weird spot because they have been the slowest selling of all the truck brands. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, the Ram is quite outdated when it comes to the interior and options. There's a lot more that you can get for your money from some of the other manufacturers when it comes to a full-size pickup truck. And the Gladiators are a bit overpriced now. For what you get on a Gladiator, I think most people who wanted a Gladiator bought their Gladiator already, and because of this market that we're in now, prices have gotten so high on the Gladiator, people can choose something like this Rebel for around the same price. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is a Gladiator Mojave, and then this is a Gladiator Rubicon. And let's look at the window sticker of these two so I can show you my point. So as you can see, all the normal Jeep stuff around everything. I don't see the main window sticker, but they do have something here. MSRP of $67,900. Looks like they added window tint and Zactec, whatever the heck that is. Bringing this to $68,348 for a Mojave. There's a black Rubicon here and a white Rubicon here. Let's see what this one shows. We're in Scottsdale. There's sports cars everywhere. There's also a Ferrari and Lambo down the street, but we're gonna go check those out in another video. So if you wanna see what's going on at Ferrari, Lambo, Aston Martin, McLaren, they're all in the same area. I'm gonna do a video on the supercar / sports car market after this one. So subscribe and click like on this video, subscribe, hit the notification, all that stuff if you wanna see a little bit of the supercar market. Because I haven't seen too many people post about it. But anyways, here's the Rubicon. You're looking at 2023 model year, so not even the newest updated one anymore, for $69,020. But as you saw, if you wanted a full-size truck, you could grab that Warlock or something for like 55 grand. And it has a V6 engine, and the Jeep has a V6 Pentastar. So for less money, you could actually just get a real truck. And that's one of the biggest problems with those Gladiator trucks and why they're sitting around is, as high a price as they are now, if you're not using it for any kind of overlanding or rock crawling, you could just get a regular Ram for less money and be able to do all the truck stuff you want. Now let's go to Ford and see what's going on there. Before we leave Ram, I want to point out two quick things that I just saw as I was walking back to my Jeep. This is the first dually Ram that I've seen out of any of the lots that I've been to in 3 different states. And this truck is massive in size, but also massive in price. This will run you $114,000. And the sticker's upside down, but 114 grand, that's crazy. I haven't looked at dually prices, so tell me if that's normal or not. But they also have this Power Wagon, which has been pretty hard to find, and the sticker's way up there. There's a Lambo revving over there. There's a Lambo making all the noise right there. Again, this is Scottsdale, so you're gonna see that everywhere. But this MSRP is 80 grand for a Power Wagon. Now let's go to Ford. I finally made it to Ford here in Scottsdale, and as you can see behind me, they are just stacked with F-150 full-size trucks, just like every other Ford dealership that you see across the country that I've shown you so far. So their row of trucks goes all the way across the front here, and then if I walk over here just a little bit, there's an entire row of F-150s going down with some Super Duties on the right and some work trucks. And then right behind me here is a pretty good half row of the F-150 Lightning electric pickup truck, and the row continues all the way down here on the left side. So as you can see, no matter where you go, Ford dealerships are pretty stacked with these F-150 trucks, and there's a couple of interesting things that I found at these dealerships with these trucks in Arizona that I didn't really find anywhere else, and that is lower trim levels like this STX here. It does have 4 doors. It's still a 2023 model, so it looks like Ford still is having trouble getting rid of their 2023 models. It is only 2-wheel drive, and this STX will run you $49,095. So if you want an F-150 under 50 grand, you're gonna have to go with a 2-wheel drive version, because anything you see in 4-wheel drive is gonna run you at least 60 grand or more. Let me show you. We've got this silver FX4 off-road F-150, and let me show you what I mean about prices. This is just an XLT trim level, pretty much one of the lower trim levels you can get, but even a 2023 F-150 4-wheel drive 4x4 is gonna run you $67,900. As we all know, is pretty crazy and overpriced. And again, they're loaded with these trucks going from here all the way back and around the corner. But as you can tell, the story is pretty similar across everywhere in the country. Trucks are stacking up, inventory is selling very, very slowly, and no matter where you go, the lots are full of overpriced $100,000, $90,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 full-size pickup trucks. Now, if you like any of the videos, you like keeping up with the truck market, car industry news, anything like that, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit like on this video so it reaches more people and we can get this information to more people. And also, when you subscribe to the channel, make sure you turn those notifications on. I'll see you in the next video.